Hello aspirants, so I welcome you all to this channel. Uh, Basically, why this video? There are a lot of resources already available on YouTube speaking about APFC examinations. So why this video? See, I have analyzed a lot of YouTube channels. First of all, most of them are in Hindi. So there are aspirants who cannot understand Hindi also. That is first point. Second thing is, I have seen that there is certain preparation strategy that has been discussed, but that has not been discussed properly, right? There are a lot of YouTube channels. Most of them have not analyzed the previous year question papers properly, and they are actually guiding aspirants in a wrong direction. So that is why I thought, okay, let's do this video. So why waste the time? Let's start the video. First of all, I think you guys already know that there is this EPFO vacancies, and the UPFO examination has EO and AO, as well as Assistant Provident Fund Commissioner posts. Okay, so there are, in total 477 vacancies. I think APFC has 170 or nearly 160 posts. Fine. Now we are going to discuss only about APFC examination, that is Assistant Provident Fund Commissioner examination, not EO AO. Fine, because basically I have analyzed this video only for APFC examinations, one thing. And second thing is, for those aspirants who are having confusion, so UPSC will conduct these examinations separately, right? So EVO AVO examination will be conducted in a separate phase or in a separate time or date, and APFC will also be conducted on a separate date. And I think many of you know that this is only two-stage examination. First stage will be objective type of questions, okay, so OBT, and the second stage will be directly interview, right? So I think this basic information you already know about the APFO, EPFO, APFC examinations. So now let's first discuss about the syllabus. First of all, if you look into the syllabus copy of APFC, like you see, they have spoken about different subjects such as the quantitative aptitude in the sense your mathematics. Second thing is the logical reasoning, which is part of mental ability. Third is English comprehension, which consists of passage as well as the grammar, etc. Then they speaks about science. Okay, so they speak about polity and governance, economy, which is recent trends in economy. Then see economy, social, science, polity, economy, as well as history. Okay, so there are certain questions from world history also. So they consist of, let us consider this as general studies subjects. Okay, then comes with new subjects such as the industrial relations. It's not international, it is industrial relations. Then social security schemes of the government, and the labor laws, accounting and auditing. Okay, basically these are the subjects that is mentioned in your syllabus copy. If you look into the syllabus copy of the notification, you can go through it. Fine, so I have uploaded this in the description. You can download the syllabus. Okay, now if you look into the syllabus, you basically, I have seen that YouTube channels have been telling to read economy, read polity from Lakshmikant. Okay, but see, merely by reading couple of subjects you basically cannot crack APFC, right? So say for example, if you have read polity, economy very well, okay, and as well as geography is also there, some questions have been asked in geography. So if you have not analyzed the previous year question papers, it is very tough to clear the examinations. That's because one thing is the vacancies are very less. Okay, second thing, the cutoff will be high, definitely high, because more number of aspirants will be trying for it. Since the cutoff will be high, you can't basically ignore any subjects that is being mentioned here. Okay, that's where the role of previous year question paper comes. And now if you see APFC in in the history, or in the past, they have conducted this examination 4 times in the near past. Okay, 2002, 2004, 2012 and 2015. After 2015, they have given a gap of nearly 8 years, and this will be conducted in 2023, that is now. Okay, so now if you have looked into these subjects, or these question papers, you'll get an idea like where we should focus on. Okay, what are the topics that we have to give first priority? So don't let us not waste the time. Let's start analyzing those important subjects or topics that are important in the examination. Fine, I have already done it, so you basically can see it here. I also mentioned the sources. If you can see the sources. Okay, now first of all, I have taken this English as very important because every year there are questions from English subject. Right? See, English have spotting the error questions, in which you should be well versed with the grammar. Okay, the spotting the error basically will check your grammar knowledge. Right? They'll give certain sentence, and you have to identify which of that particular part of the sentence is wrong. So that is checking your grammar knowledge. Second, fill in the blanks is also checking your grammar knowledge. Okay, and third, antonyms and synonyms. I think you know that you should know the meanings of the words. Okay, so if you know the meanings of the words, you can basically learn the identify the opposites also. Then idioms, passage, ordering of the sentences, and jumble sentence. Fine. So now first let us see how the pattern has been followed. If you look in 2002, there were nearly 30 questions overall from the English. Fine. And if you look into 2004, the questions have been 25. It is reduced. In 2012, again it is reduced into 12 questions. In 2015, it was around 13 questions. Okay, so see, you can see that the number of questions, okay, as the year passed, has been decreasing in English. Fine, but that doesn't mean that there will be no questions. Definitely there will be questions. Okay, so we can assume that nearly 18 questions will be 15 to 20 questions will be from English. You can expect more questions also. So English will be a very important subject, and it must be your daily routine. So you should basically prepare for English language daily. Okay, now let us focus on the topics first, then we'll discuss about the strategy. Okay. The second important thing is mental ability and quantitative aptitude. So mental ability, as we all know that it is logical reasoning. It is also called as logical reasoning. If we look into mental ability questions, in 2002 the number of questions were more. Okay, 5 plus 9 9 questions in total. But in 2004 there were only 2 questions. In 2012 and 15, I have not got even single questions that has been asked from the mental ability. Right? But that doesn't mean that you should not practice these questions, since they have asked already in 2002. So you should at least solve it in a minimum sense. Right? But let us not consider this into first priority. Right? Let us consider this into second priority subjects. Now coming to the quantitative aptitude. Quantitative aptitude, in the sense, it's purely mathematics plus application of mathematics. This quantitative aptitude has been asked every year in EPFO exam, APFC examinations. Right? So the topics generally varied from the percentage, profit and loss, discount, right? Because they are all related. That's why I've written percentage, profit and loss, discount. So in 2002, they have not asked a single question. Really sorry. In 2002, they have not asked single question from percentage, discount. And but here, if you see in 2000, 12, one question. In 2015, suddenly they have asked 4 questions. So time and work also, pipes and cisterns, basic arithmetic operations questions also they'll ask. Algebraic equations based questions, only one has been asked about algebra, application of the algebra. Right? So then permutation, combinations, and probability, they are the favorite topics of UPSC. Okay, permutation, combination, probability, geometric progression was asked in 2004, 2 as well as 4, but afterwards they have never asked that question. Only one question has been asked in 2015. Okay, that was basic question. So geometric progression, probability was their favorite topic. Fine, probability. So permutation, combination, probability. Then coming to geometric progression, there was only one question since from last 15 years. So we can ignore this. Arithmetic progression, it is like being asked repetitively, so you should know the application of arithmetic progression. Then ratio and proportion, fractions, and there are questions from the sets, that is Venn diagram. So the questions will be like, there are 40 percentage of boys in class and 50 percentage of girls in class, and out of which 40% of total people like tea, so and the rest like coffee. So you have to draw basically the Venn diagram. It's a basic combination of maths plus your logic. Fine, it doesn't require any conceptual clarity, but yes, so it belongs to sets. Then statistics, you should know mean, median, mode. That question they have asked, like last time 3 questions, 2015 3 questions. Then time, speed and distance, they have not asked in 2002 as well as 2004, but in 2012 and 2015 consistently they have asked 3 questions from time, speed and distance, the problems on trains. Then averages, they have not asked, but only one time they have asked in 2015. Now like about graphs, 4 questions asked in 2004, and after that they have never asked. So data interpretation, okay, that is about graphs. Then geometry is their favorite, because every year they have asked the question and the number of questions got increased, if you see. Okay, so the topics will be circle, cylinder, rectangle, perimeter. So these are the topics from which they have asked geometry questions. Right? Now if you look into quantitative aptitude, so where you should give your first priority. First is your basics must be very good. Basic calculations must be very good, like percentage, fractions, etc, etc. So that will save you in case of any questions that you are not expecting. Unexpected questions will be saved, if you know the basics. Now coming to the priority, first is time and work. Many times they have asked. Okay, speed, time, speed and distance. Okay, and the geometry must learn. Right? Probability, permutations and combinations. Okay, these are the top priority topics that you should do from quantitative aptitude. What next? Come to science. Science, like I have divided science into physics, chemistry and biology. So if you see the science, number of science questions were decent amount of questions have been asked in 2002, 2004 as well as 12 as well as 50. So science you can't ignore, you have to study science. So what is the source to study science? That is NCERTs. Okay, so if you have time you can refer Lucent after NCERTs, but you should read NCERTs. That's because they're asking conceptual clarity. They're checking your concepts. Okay, whether how much you know about the rectifier applications, kinetic energy applications, uniform motion applications, about the reflection, refraction, okay, light phenomena, so gravitation, body mass index. Okay, these are the topics I've you can get it from the description. Here you can go through it clearly. Fine. So chemistry also, they have asked about chemical compounds. Okay, so applications of the chemistry, chemical components of certain chemical reactions. Biology also they have asked. Quite. So you have to read NCERT. There is no other way to it. Okay, because there will be minimum 10 to 15 questions from science. Now coming to the next topic, that is the computers, CCT. Okay, computer and communication technology. So there will be questions on communications also as well as computers also. Fine. So in 2002 and 2004 there were very less number of questions, but from 2012 the number of questions got increased, because even the government is also using the computers now in the office, because Digital India program, so you have to focus on CCT. So you see in 2015 there were 11 questions. Okay, if you look into the questions of computers, they are very basic level questions. They've asked the full form, they've asked the applications. Okay, so you basically can refer NCERT books of CCT. I've referred, these are my reference books. NCERT CCT books, 11th standard and 12th standard they have got CCT books. I think in high school also they have got computer books. So or else if you want shortcut you can refer Lucent. Fine. So that will be your secondary source, but CCT is very important subject. Next, coming to polity. Polity plays a very important role because there are decent amount of questions 5 in 2002, 10 in 2004, and 2012 14 questions, and again 2015 they have asked 10 questions. Okay, so the one and only important source is Lakshmikant, right? So I have seen the questions. I don't think NCRTs, if you have basic knowledge, then you don't have to refer NCRTs, fine. So you can directly start reading from Lakshmikant, and that too have, like, you don't have to read the complete Lakshmikant, because there are some selective topics that is being given here, fine. So you have to go through it, fine. So this polity Lakshmikant, basically polity subject also has governance. In governance they focused on, like, ERC reports and some committees that has been constituted by the government, important committees. Every year they have asked that questions, you can see from here, fine. So for polity Lakshmikant is the source. Next, coming to history. In history I have divided history into ancient, medieval and freedom struggle as given in the textbook. I mean, in the syllabus they have given culture and freedom struggle. So in culture, you can refer for culture ancient history book, that is 6th NCERT, 12th NCERT, Arish Sharma, fine, old NCERT. So they've asked, like, decent amount of questions, like 2-3 questions will be there. From medieval history, sometimes they've asked 5 questions, 2 questions, so you can expect 2-3 questions from medieval, fine. Again, medieval I have told you NCERTs. Next, freedom struggle. So NCERTs plus spectrum, fine. So freedom struggle questions will be there, and they have been increasing. You see 6 questions from last time, 2012 2 questions, 2004 5 questions, and 2002 it's 3 questions, fine. So freedom struggle, basically the question starts from the Gandhian phase. Okay, so, like, from 1905 you should start focusing on. So you can refer spectrum for this. Spectrum plays very important role. Okay. Next, coming to environment. See, if you, why I'm basically giving NCERTs here, that's because I have seen the questions directly picked from NCERTs. Okay, so for example, Stri Dana, that is given in NCERT book, right? Like this, there are a lot of terminologies that is directly being picked from NCERTs, so you have to read NCERTs. Next, coming to environment. See, environment, in 2002 there was no single question, in 2004 there was no single questions, but from 2012 the importance for environment has been increasing, because they have been speaking about the climate change. Okay, the world is also speaking about climate change, so you have to automatically, focus on environment, because definitely there will be questions, more than 5 questions this time will be from environment. Okay. So for environment you can refer science, 12th NCERT biology, and last 4 chapters of science. And I am basically referring PMFIS. So some people refer Shankar IS notes also, that's up to you. PMFIS, I found it very handy, and it's I like that book personally. Now coming to geography. See, geography, there is a focus on basic geographical phenomena. Okay, in 2002 there were questions from longitude, latitudes, and suddenly from 2004 they started asking about cropping patterns. Okay, as well as rivers are very important rivers of India and their tributaries, and soil and crops, and again, rivers, fine. So if you look into this, the major focus of geography will be on the rivers and agriculture. Right, so you should keep this in mind, and you should study geography. Again, 6th to 12th NCERTs are very important source to study geography. Right. Next, coming to economics. Economics is one of the most important subjects. That's because you see the questions have been increasing, like from 2002 there were 3, and then 2004 there were 5 questions, then suddenly in 2012 13 questions, and last time they asked 17 questions. So you can't ignore economics. And economics, the questions are they are not basic level, they are up to a standard level, because more or less economics is much related to the social security schemes, right? So, and the labor laws, okay, employment. So that's why economy automatically becomes very important topic. So for that you should refer 9th, 10th and 11th NCERTs. There is no doubt about it. Okay, that we have to do. And micro and macroeconomics of 12th NCERTs. You can refer NCERTs, or you can refer Tamil Nadu books for micro and macro. Right. So NCERTs are a bit difficult to understand, because there are a lot of graphs that is being given. You can refer Tamil Nadu NCERTs. Right. And you can also refer Munal sir's videos. You have to refer Munal sir's videos if you ask me. free YouTube videos they have uploaded. There are 85 videos. You should read selectively. Among 85, I think 50 to 60 are important for the exams, because rest they have discussed about the international trade, international organizations, so that you can leave. Apart from which, you should refer those inflation part and all. But subject wise strategy, I will again uh, do a separate video for it. Fine. So next is population, that is given in your syllabus. So population, it's they'll ask one or two questions, they might ask. So since the census was conducted last time in 2011, so it's been almost 12 years, 11 to 12 years. So there might be a chance that there'll be no single question from census. Okay, because now most of the data will be changed. So what we can do is basically we can refer census 2011's important data from Google. You can Google search and note down the important data. In case if they ask one or two questions, that can be answered. Right. Now, the next important topic is the personalities, sports, awards, and books. You see, in 2002 they have asked 9 questions from this, and in 2004 5 questions, in 2012 6 questions, in 2015-16 only 2 questions. Okay, that is being reduced, I understand, but we don't know exactly, they might ask, they might not ask. So that's why the important source for this is GK Today. If you look into GK Today website, they have a separate column for personalities, awards, okay, so, and sports news. So you can basically refer that. Daily you can spend around 5 to 10 minutes for it, right? As well as places, they've asked a lot of places in news. Also they have asked some international important cities of that belongs to different countries. So that is also they have asked. So that's why you should focus on places also. That source is GK Today. But that places questions have not been asked in 2012 and 15. Okay. See, because why you can see these changes is from 2015 the government has changed, right? So that's why most of the people in YouTube, they are concentrating or focusing only on the 2015 question paper. But anyways, so we should not take a risk. So that's why I have taken 4 question papers. Now coming to the next topic is labor laws. Labor laws, there will be decent questions, because in 2002 and 2004 there were no questions, but from 2012 and 2016 15 there are they have started asking questions. So for labor laws, you can refer YouTube. There will be a lot of videos that will be done on labor laws and ministry websites. Okay, so all the labor laws now have been amalgamated into 4 important codes. So you should refer those 4 important codes. Okay, so that is the first priority. And after that, you can basically refer the old laws, because they might ask, because you see they have asked about ESI in 1948 in 2015 paper. Okay? So anyways, so that is the thing. Next is industrial relations. Industrial relations, I think for the non-commerce students it will be a new topic. So the questions are only 2 or 1, but do refer some YouTube videos that has been done, basic videos, that I think will save you. Now coming to social security schemes, there were no questions at all in 2002 and 2004, but suddenly they started asking questions from 2012 and 2015. So there will be questions minimum. You can expect 8 to 10 questions from social security schemes, right? So that's because anyways the government has to project its policies and schemes, important policies and schemes. So that's why you should refer, and for this you don't have to refer from 1950, you just have to refer from 2014, social security schemes from 2014, because the incumbent government schemes, right? Then coming to the accounting, that has been mentioned, but accounting questions have been asked only 2 questions, but 2 problems last year they have asked. So in case if you have time, you can refer accounting from the NCERTs, but now for APFC they are not giving much importance. So it's up to you, right? But this sources, if I have to tell you, 11th and 12th NCERT accountancy. Next, there were questions from business studies also, that is not being observed, but I've seen the sources. These are from NCERT business studies, 11th and 12th business studies books. 3 questions they have asked in 2004 and 1 from 2012. 2012, but in 2015 there were no questions, right? So if you have time, you can refer. International organizations, UNO, once they have asked, and IMF, they have asked, like, 2 questions. Next, current affairs. The current affairs is very less importance given for this examination. I don't know why. Okay, so but, like, I would suggest you just go through current affairs. Like, anyways, you that will improve your knowledge. So at least 1 year's current affairs, just go through from magazine or GK Today website or whatever. Okay, that's your source. But current affairs is, like, plays very less prominence in APFC exams. Right? Sometimes miscellaneous questions have also been asked. So, like, PTI, PAB, about All India Radio. That you can expect 1 or 2 questions. Now, art and culture, once they ask classical dance, so you can include that in, the ancient and medieval history you can study. Okay, world history, like major events they've asked 2 times. Okay, major events like the Pearl Harbor incident, okay, like the Cuban Missile Crisis, right, World War II, like this. So in between, they have asked map-based questions, international map-based questions, important, like, places, but suddenly from 2012 it stopped. Okay, so now these are the topics from which APFC has asked the questions ever, right? So now if I want to, like, review or revise, or repeat once again, so what are the important topics that we have to focus on? See, first thing is the English, right? Second is the quantitative aptitude. Science, third is science. Fourth is history, combination ancient, medieval, modern. Then environment, then geography, economics, then census, then GK Today about personalities and places. Okay, and the labor laws, industrial relations, and social security schemes. So if you have done this, okay, if we can estimate the number of questions that they can ask, so on an average, let us assume, okay, this we can basically meet after the examination, and again we can analyze it and how far it went, right? So if you look here, so English, if we can expect around 20 questions, and quantitative aptitude we can expect around 15 questions, right? Just a second, I'll like count on an average how many questions they have been asking. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26. So they're basically asking 25 to 30 questions. So we'll increase the weight. It's 20 questions. 20 from quantitative aptitude. Okay, we are like basically taking lesser number only. English 20 to 25. Quantitative aptitude again 20 to 25. Right. The next weightage is for economics. Again, economics from 13 to 18. Science, let's assume 8 to 10 questions. Then geography, somewhere around 3 to 7 questions. Environment, since the weightage has been increased, now we can expect 10 to 12 questions from environment. And environment and quality, we can expect around 10 to 15 questions. Okay, this is maximum minimum questions. And then economy, we have already written economy, right? Okay, so economy, science, okay, and persons awards, so like GK type of questions we can expect 6 to 8, fine. And coming to the labor law, social security schemes, industrial relations, combination, we can expect around 10 to 15 questions, right? So if you can look into this aspect, we have subjects from which there'll be probable questions, right? So any other important topic that we have missed? Let me go through it again. So science done. Okay, and computers is very important. So computers, that is CCT, we can expect around like around somewhere around 8 to 13 questions from computer. Okay, and CCT done. Economics, history we have done. Have we done history? Let's see. No, history. Yes, history we can expect around 10 to 15 questions, and places we can expect around 5 to 8. Okay, and the rest, like your international organizations. Okay, so current affairs, international organizations, current affairs, right? So these, like accountancy combination, we can expect around 10 questions. Okay, so this we are giving least weightage, right? So let's see, like how much minimum questions can be asked. 20, 20, 40, 48, 58, 58, 58, 50, 59, 60, 61, 61, 69, 72, 82, 92, 100, 106, and 616. Okay, nearly 116 questions, right? To 120 questions. So almost most of the questions will be asked from these subjects, but there are questions, 120 questions for those who aspirants who are, like watching this. There'll be 120 questions, so you can expect somewhere around 110 questions from these topics, and the rest of the topics will be 10 questions. So I would suggest you to focus on these topics as first priority. Okay, because I've seen, like many YouTube channels, they're already they've started teaching accountancy auditing for APFC aspirants. Maybe it might be right for EVO aspirants. Okay, but this is purely for APFC aspirants. I'm like analyzing this, right? So again, I'm telling you, this is my personal strategy, and this is my personal experience. So description, or disclaimer I'm giving you. I hope you, like this video helped you a lot. So everything that I have explained, and this data sheet that will be available in the description. So if you have any doubts, you can write it in a comment section. Thank you so much. We'll meet you in the next video.